And
Right.
I would ask you if there are certain current trends or new innovations happening within the knitwear sector. You think that at a global level,
Hmm.
which I think would be required for India also to develop in coming years.
Right. So the main driving force for this innovation nowadays is the keyword sustainability. So everything is revolving around the sustainable word. So a lot of innovations are happening in terms of sustainable products. In like if you say polyester, a lot of recycled polyester are getting used, and in cotton, organic cotton, BCI cotton, and then in regenerated fibers like viscose. Uh, uh, like Birla has launched this Liva Eco category, which is again sustainable product. Similarly, Lenzing has this EcoVero, and then the Modal series, which is the third generation viscose category, which is itself is a sustainable product. So this is one of the biggest driving force for the innovations in textile industry in particular. And if you ask about the knitted fabrics specifically, then I would say, as I have mentioned, a lot of conversions are happening from woven fabric to knitted fabric. So innovations in that terms, like the woven nowadays, if you see, the formal shirts are coming
Yes,
with the knitted fabrics.
yes, I was
So
about, yeah,
normally, yeah.
yeah,
So knitted fabrics are generally limpy, or they have as compared to the woven fabric. But a lot of innovations are happening to make sure that the stiffness we get, and at the same time the inherent property of knitted fabric, comfort because of the stitch. So both
correct,
characteristics we get in the same fabric, which is
correct,
happening. So a lot of innovations you will find in formal shirt, again in bottom wear
bottoms,
category,
yes,
like the Ponte Roma fabric, which is
correct,
getting very much popular in bottom wears, in which we do yarn dyed and then printed, uh, which from the fabric look, you will not be able to identify whether it is woven fabric or knitted fabric,
yes,
but
correct,
you get the comfort because of the knits. And so that is one of the key aspects for the innovation. And then digital prints are again getting popular nowadays. Then there is one more category in which there is demand for this cost-effective options. So to get the same hand feel or look of the cotton fabric with the polyester. So a lot of modifications are happening at polyester, in which we will get the fabric hand feel and look like cotton, but a cheaper version of cotton, especially for the cost effective market. A lot of innovations are happening in this area. So to summarize, like first is sustainability, which is driving force for innovations. Then second is conversion of woven fabrics to knitted fabric, and then some cost-effective options. So in these three or four keywords, you will find a lot of innovations are happening in the knitted fabric segment.
right, right, right. As you rightly said, uh, so when now if you go out and try to see, as you already explained about shirts and bottom wears and all, so now you
Right.
find a lot of knitwears there, because see what happens that when we as a textile professional go to a retail brand or out to outside, so then we are actually tempted to look at that whether it's a knitted one. So
Right.
I think
Right.
eventually the comfort level what knitting is providing in comparison to wovens would always be an advantage for the consumer. So
That's true.
I foresee that knitting is going to dominate in coming years in terms of the comfort level that the consumer gets, and the market size of the knitwear industry will keep on increasing. This is what I feel.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then see, Ankush, everybody knows that within the textile industry, people know that in knitwear sector, India has not been doing well in comparison to other global players, other countries which are very stronger in knitwear segment. So what do you
Mhm.
feel that what are the major challenges in the knitwear sector that
Hmm.
Indian companies or Indian manufacturers or Indian whole diaspora of the textile industry in knitwear sector faces? that we are not able
mm,
to compete globally. That would be
mm,
one part. And also, I would also want you to explain us more about the synthetics, where we feel that there are a lot of potential capabilities to be developed in India, and we are lagging there.
mm,
So, what all efforts needs to be done at that end to sustain into this
mm.
global market of knitting?
Right. So as you have rightly said, we are lagging uh, by a very long mile as compared to other manufacturing countries, especially to China. And even if you visit the Bangladesh, they have built up huge capacities for knitwear fabric. So having worked in China and Bangladesh, and if I compare the India, so the first thing is that the volume uh, at which China is doing the work, we are nowhere. So the first thing is the raw material availability is huge. India is capable for cotton, but for the other synthetic materials, now the capacities are getting built up. But still, we are far behind China. So first is availability of raw material is the major concern, because of which we can do variety of fabrics. Then second thing, what I feel is that, which I have mentioned earlier also, is about the processing capability. See, in knitting industry, building capacity is very easy as compared to woven, because the production chain is very small. Just from the yarn, you can just put up the knitting machine and you can make the gray fabric. In weaving, you have to do warping, sizing, and then weaving a longer production chain.
Process. Yeah.
So building knitting capacity is very easy, but the main concern is about the processing capacity and building processing capability in terms of handling viscose or regenerated fibers, which are difficult to handle as compared to cotton. We have good capacity for cotton, especially in Tirupur and Kolkata region. And now in Ludhiana region, the PC blend or blended fabrics are popular. But the trend is because of the huge demand. If you see, the Surat was known for woven fabrics, especially for saris and taffeta and all those fabrics. But if you see, a lot of production capability is coming up in Surat as well, and especially for polyester-based sportswear category of fabric. So again, when we see in terms of quality, we are lagging in terms of dyeing consistency or to avoid some defects. Even in knitting, although we are building the capacity, but there is lag for the maintaining the quality, ensuring the quality of the product. And in terms of filament, again, we have very limited resources for the polyester filament. And again, there is monopoly in that category. And we face a lot of fabric defects with variation in the filament. So uh, we have to tackle those issues. Like first, we have to ensure the raw material availability, then building the processing capability. These are the two important factors which I feel are required to compete with the world, especially with the China.
Right. Right. So, Ankush, I think you have addressed all the major concerns what I also feel are there in the industry as of now
Mm,
for the knitwear sector. So coming back to the sustainability, which you already explained that sustainability is also now a category. You know, you have to categorize it as a separate category because
right.
it is becoming a mandate, and soon a lot of regulations will start coming up even for the textile value chain to be sustainable and as well as commercial also at the same time. You know, so
Right.
both the things has to go side by side. So what do you
Right.
think? What do you think? How are these brands and retailers in India? I'm talking in especially in perspective of India
Mm,
addressing to this sustainability in terms of now asking, are they have they already started asking the suppliers to start working on the sustainable products, and how are they actually tackling it, and are there any kind of a mandatory norms coming into picture where the suppliers have to produce the merchandise as per the standards what are being established within the industry, or at the government level, or at even the country level also?
Absolutely, absolutely, Amiji. If you see 4 5 years back, when I was in China and then in Bangladesh, all international brands like H&M, CNA, and every brand have have decided their goals to make their production sustainable, to achieve like 100% products in sustainable category, and they have started working on that. And during that time in India, nobody was talking about that. But since last 3 4 years, a lot of movement is happening in sustainability. And earlier it was just a buzzword, but because we are into in the supply chain, and now this year, like if I have to mention like lifestyle, we have been supplying for last 4 years for every season, and now they have clearly put a mandate that if we are buying cotton, then it has to be BCI cotton or
Hmm.
organic cotton. Or if we are buying viscose-based products, then those has to be like Eco-Vero or Liva Eco Viscose. And again, in polyester, it has to be recycled polyester. So the picture is definitely changing in India as like in the world. And I think there is a lot of push from the government as well for the entire textile industry to make the product sustainable so that we can get the advantage of
Correct.
supplying to European Unions and other countries, because all those countries are having clear-cut mandate that they want to move to the sustainable product. So we have to
Correct.
build our capacities accordingly, and there is a lot of push from government. And I think within next 2 3 years, if you'll find that most of the brands would be having like 30 40 50% capacity of their demand is fulfilled by sustainable products.
Yeah, correct, correct, Ankush, correct. So I think, Ankush, we have covered almost all the topics what are relevant to the industry today. And
Right.
it is always a pleasure to talk to you, because I know that you have been very minutely involved into this knitwear business over the years. You have practically worked in China, which is the biggest center for production of knitted fabrics. Then you have worked in Bangladesh, where the major conversion of the garments is taking place. So
Yes. Yes.
you are having a complete package of the knowledge, and I appreciate that you have spent and given us time to come over and explain us about the various aspects of the knitwear sector. So I thank you very much, Ankush, and I look forward to some more interactions with you. Maybe not now, maybe once the things are more sustainable and we are already producing a lot of sustainable products, we will be interacting again. Till that time, thank you once again, and it was a pleasure interacting with you, Ankush.
Thank you very much, Nichi, for inviting me for this podcast. And it's always a pleasure talking to you and to get a lot of during the past also I used to get a lot of inputs from you. And as a textile technocrat, I feel that we have to we have a lot of potential available in India, and we just have to work in the right direction. We have to be thoughtful about the innovation, which is the key word, and now the sustainability. So
Right, right.
thank you very much.
Yeah,
Pleasure talking to you, and
yeah.
I also look forward to have some more interactions with you.
Thank
going ahead.
Sure,
Thank
sure,
you.
sure, Ankush. So thank you very much, Ankush. So looking forward in future interactions as well. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Amit. Yeah. Bye.